Every day in the USA, people find themselves in court.
Court calls case People versus Michael Olson.
Good morning, Assistant Public Defender Lauren Perny on behalf of Mr. Olson. Please state your name.
Michael Olson.
Teresa Claire on behalf of probation. Your Honor, Mr. Olson is before the court for a violation of probation hearing. Mr. Olson was sentenced in this case December 13, 2023. Mr. Olson has done nothing with his probation. He failed to report after sentencing. He owes a balance of $1,525. He's made no payments. He failed to sign and return his probation order, failed to complete substance abuse treatment, the assessment and or treatment, including a mental health assessment and or treatment. He failed to report to community corrections for his random weekly drug testing. And he has also failed to report to this court on prior violation of probation hearings in April, May, and in June. He would then submit a bench warrant recall request that again and again he would not appear. Given all of that, probation is asking that the court sentence him to 93 days in jail, credit for 25 days served, to serve the balance, complete the in-jail Dawn Farm program, waive remaining terms, accept his financial obligations, and discharge him from probation without improvement.
I did speak with Mr. Olson regarding the VOP. I think Mr. Olson's issue has been that he has tried to complete some of the terms, but has not fully been able to get there. For example, when I was reading through what he hasn't done, he said, well, I did call probation, but he didn't show up in person. When I read that he didn't do his treatment, he said, well, I did call Bear River, but I wasn't able to get up there. He has
Bear River comes and gets you, but go ahead.
Or hasn't been able to complete the intake or whatever happened.
Yeah.
I think his limitations come from he told me he's not working. He doesn't have any transportation. He doesn't have a car. He doesn't have a license. He's been living with his mother and taking care of his pregnant fiance. He's been trying to keep his head above water. I will tell the court
How did he get picked up?
His mother.
My mother was going out of country to deliver a package. She's a package carrier. I had to wake her up to find out when she'll be there because I was planning on going to work, and the police department, the state police, picked me up.
I think he's been trying to keep his head above water, trying to care for his pregnant partner, trying to get work, trying to help support his mother. I do know he has the support of her. As the court may know, she's called probation, she's called the prosecutor's office, she's called my office, she's called the court, trying to get someone to help Mr. Olson. I do think if he were in touch with Ms. Pilara, he would be successful in probation, but that connection hasn't been made, obviously. I think Mr. Olson is someone who needs a little bit more support to complete the terms. I mean, he expressed a lot of confusion to me about what he needed to do and what was going on. I think he's been struggling with, like I said, completing the things he needs to do without someone kind of ushering him through it. He does have more time on probation. I'd ask the court to give him a chance to complete the terms that he needs to complete.
Anything you want to say, sir?
I apologize for anything I've done wrong. And
April 10th of 2024, I had to issue a bench warrant because you didn't show up at your violation of probation hearing. You submitted a recall. We reset it. May. Same thing. Didn't show up. and issued a recall. Usually we wouldn't recall it. We recalled it. We reset it in June. June 12th comes around. What happens? You don't show up. I would agree with everything Miss Perrone says in terms of, yeah, you might need help getting through some of this. Maybe. I don't know. But it's impossible for us to determine because anytime that we're setting a hearing for you, you're not here.
Yes, sir. That's why I was apologizing, sir. Your Honor.
Sent to the court, 93 days in jail, credit 25, defendant to serve the balance. He's to complete the Dawn Farm in jail program. I'll waive remaining terms, accept his financial obligation, discharge him from probation without improvement. Thank you.
Your Honor, I'm not really seeing, never saw my probation officer and they told me 10 days.
What?
They told me 10 days the last time I spoke to them.
They told you 10 days for what?
I think
I've
that he's
never
referring to
met the
prior.
probation officer.
Court calls the case of the people versus Leonie Medina. I probably said that wrong because I've said it wrong every time.
Good morning, Assistant Public Defender Laura Perny on behalf of Medina. Can you state your name for the record?
Yes, Lainey Medina.
Teresa Claire on behalf of probation. Your Honor, Ms. Medina is before the court for a review hearing on a prosecutor deferred sentence. Ms. Medina is not compliant with the prosecutor deferred sentence. She's made no payments over $700 that she owed. She failed to complete the theft class, and she failed to report to probation as directed. At this time, given that it is a prosecutor deferred sentence, probation is asking that a violation of probation hearing be set for July 24, 2024 at 9 a.m. That Ms. Medina report to probation tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. in person. That she also report to community corrections with 4 hours for a drug screen. That she become compliant with all previously ordered terms of this court prior to the violation hearing or face possible sanctions, which could include the loss of the prosecutor deferred and or jail time.
Your Honor, I don't have any objection to that. I guess my only thing is Ms. Medina does live in Wisconsin. So I'd ask if she could report to probation via phone or Zoom meeting.
And Your Honor, I have spoken with someone in Wisconsin. They're indicating to me that Ms. Medina is playing this with both courts. She is telling Wisconsin that she's living here, and she is telling us that she's living there. And I believe that she is in this area.
I've spoken with her public defender in Wisconsin, and her bond conditions are that she is to stay in Wisconsin.
As her bond conditions here are that she stay in Michigan.
I believe that the bond conditions were changed to allow her to stay in Wisconsin. She did report for in person, and she was given permission to leave Wisconsin to come here for purposes of that court hearing.
And Your Honor, if that's the case, that she is in Wisconsin, obviously I could do the appointment by phone. However, I would also expect that or ask that the court
I don't have a change of address.
order her to correct.
I can get the court an updated address. I just have in my notes on February 14th that she was here in person, and she will reside there until that case is resolved and her bond conditions reflect.
On what day?
February 14th, which would.
Well, hold it. No. I did not say she could live there. I said she could travel to Wisconsin. I've got my note.
That's what I show also, Your Honor.
Well, then I incorrect.
I don't think she requested to change her residence to Wisconsin. Because I wouldn't have put. I mean, I can have my staff pull up the tape. But if she's in Wisconsin, my notes indicate that she's to travel to Wisconsin.
Okay,
And Your Honor, I can also state, if that was at the February 14th hearing, my notes, that I reflected from that court date is that the court allowed travel to Wisconsin to deal with the pending court case there.
Yes.
well, Your Honor, I'm happy to confirm with Miss Medina and get into touch with both probation and the court of where she's staying.
Right, but here's my problem. If what Ms. Polaire is indicating is correct, that Wisconsin's saying that she's telling Wisconsin that she's living in Michigan and telling us she's living in Wisconsin, I'm not going to play that game because she's supposed to be here. I did not give her permission to reside outside of the state of Michigan. And so could issue a bench warrant solely on that. But also, I would indicate if somebody were going to reside in another state, either the court or probation, but certainly probation, would have an address.
I understand. I'm happy to speak with Miss Medina about it. She is raising her hand.
Go ahead.
I think you're muted, Miss Medina.
Okay, good morning, Judge, first of all. I am not sure who it is that she spoke to that stated that I am claiming I am living in Wisconsin and then telling Wisconsin I'm living in Michigan. That would be inaccurate, and I'm not sure where that information came from. However, I have been traveling back and forth between Madison, Wisconsin and Ypsilanti, Michigan. My permanent residence is here in Ypsilanti, Michigan. So I have been abiding by both.
Doesn't live in Wisconsin. Her permanent residence.
My permanent residence is here in Ypsilanti. And I have been residing.
Then there's no reason she can't report in person. All right, because that's what that was all about. All right, anything else anybody want to tell me?
No, Your Honor.
I'll set a violation of probation hearing for July 24th, 2024 at 9 a.m. That will be in person. She's to report to probation July 11th, 2024 at 11:30. That is also in person. She's to report to community corrections within 24 hours for a drug screen. And she's to become compliant with all other terms prior to the violation of probation hearing or face possible sanctions, which could include the loss of the prosecutor's deferred sentence and or jail.
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Medina, can you call our office and update your contact information with us as well as probation?
Okay, yes, I will. Can I get like a number or something? Because I have been trying to reach somebody for the last couple months about the class I was supposed to take, and I haven't had any contact from anyone at the probation office except for an email that I received just a couple days ago. Because I had a family member.
The probation department attempted to contact her. The probation office also emailed which has our contact information on it.
Correct. The email I received was just a couple days ago, and prior to that, I hadn't received anything until
Ms. Medina, Google the
Yes.
Public Defender's Office, Washtenaw County Public Defender's Office, and call my office today. Please.
Okay. Will do. Thank you.
Thank you. Court does call the case of the people versus Peter Heenan.
Good morning, may it please the court. Jackie Moss for on behalf of Peter Heenan. Your Honor, today is the date and time set for a probable cause conference in the matter. At this time, I would request an adjournment of the probable cause conference so that adjournment until such time that Mr. Heenan can complete some substance abuse treatment. Having spoke with Mr. Heenan, I'd like to apprise the court that Mr. Heenan has previously voluntarily enrolled himself in inpatient treatment. He feels that he has acquired the tools necessary to maintain sobriety. He has a support system. However, they are not local, but he does have an extensive support system. He's indicated that this experience of being in custody over the last week, he's described it as rock bottom, and it's been literally and figuratively a sobering experience for him. We would ask that the court release Mr. Heenan to an intensive outpatient treatment recovery program. Obviously, Mr. Heenan would be willing to wear a scram tether, be subject to any additional testing and any meeting requirements that the court saw necessary. In the alternative, the court had previously discussed inpatient treatment, and I do have an update for Your Honor regarding those. Regarding Bear River, when we were last here, the court ordered that CMH conduct an evaluation of Mr. Heenan and issue a referral to Bear River. Having spoke with CMH yesterday, they informed me that Mr. Heenan was not eligible for an evaluation because he has private insurance. I did speak with Bear River. Bear River informed me that they could conduct an over-the-phone intake assessment of Mr. Heenan, but they wouldn't be able to have a bed for him until 7 to 14 days out. Liberty House was the other inpatient facility. Liberty House does take Mr. Heenan's insurance.
Where is that located?
Liberty House is located in Fenton, Michigan, Your Honor. They accept his insurance. They have a bed that would be available tomorrow. They are able to do a phone intake as well.
That's inpatient?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
How long is the anticipated program?
Both Bear River and Liberty House, their standard programming is 4 weeks. At the conclusion of such, they assess the patient's status and make a determination if a longer stay is necessary.
If how would he get there?
Both Bear River and Liberty House would be able to pick Mr. Heenan up from Washtenaw County Jail.
So Liberty House would pick him up from the jail.
Correct, Your Honor.
All right. Any response from the people on that issue?
Yeah, I'm just obviously concerned, given the nature of the circumstances. He already had he was out on bond. We had originally asked for a $50,000 bond in this case, and he had a chance to be out on bond, and he drank during that time. If you are going to release him, we're asking for him to be inpatient.
I mean, and I went through a rather lengthy hearing the last time, so I'm aware of all of those things. How long an adjournment did you want?
If your Honor is leaning toward the inpatient, I'd say at least 45 days out. That would give him time to complete the 30-day treatment, unless 30-day plus if there's an extension.
Well, Liberty, right? That would be, when would he get in?
Tomorrow.
He could get in tomorrow.
That's my
and be in
understanding.
a bed tomorrow.
Yes, Your Honor.
So I'll modify his bond. He can be released to inpatient, and the full name of the facility is
Liberty House,
Liberty House in what city did you say?
Fenton.
Benton, Michigan.
And I'm glad you mentioned the bond, Your Honor. As in my conversation with Liberty House, they informed me that as long as the treatment was listed as a bond condition and not a court order, that would facilitate insurance potentially paying. Insurance is sometimes refuse payment if the treatment is court ordered.
I'll indicate that can be released there. However, prior to his release, he needs to be on a scram tether. And I will put this over. Well, we'll do it this way. We're just gonna go to August 13th. If he's not out, then we'll figure out something, but I'm not gonna go too far out with this gentleman. August 13th, 2024, 9 a.m.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. And just so I'm clear, regarding the scram tether, that's going to be installed today, and Mr. Heenan will be released.
We'll make sure to get him a tether.
Okay, you're going to get him the tether, and then will he be released
He'll be
from
released
custody?
on a PR.
Okay, and then Liberty House will can pick him up wherever.
Yes, he must be released to Liberty House.
Okay,
Liberty House will pick up.
got it.
Yes, he had 20,000, 10% bond.
Oh, he already did.
Yes. He's one of the-
And I revoked it.
Right.
So it was 20,010 that he put. Okay. So I'll reinstate. He posted a 20,000
10%.
10% bond already. So that will go back. Oh, is actually that he's already posted.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Court calls case People versus Cody Jolly. Oh, well, we'll wait. We gotta wait for them to bring him out. They're right there. Cody Jolly.
Bernstein for Mr. Jolly. Mr. Jolly, could you please state your name for the judge?
Cody Lee Jolly.
Welcome back. Yes.
Your Honor. We are asking the court to please set this for exam. To my knowledge, all discovery is complete.
People have their witnesses available the 23rd.
Why don't we do that the next hearing?
I'm gonna do this.
Want to do this hearing? Mr. Jolly has a request, Your Honor.
Oh,
I think maybe this could be taken up a little bit better at the next hearing, but he's telling me right now that he wishes to represent himself moving forward.
Representative.
moving forward. So at the exam, you want to represent yourself?
From here on forward, yes.
Okay. Then I'll set the preliminary examination. You'll have to let Judge Barr know that, and then he can take it from there and give you and advise you as to everything I had to advise you of before regarding the quandaries with representing yourself. So I'll set your preliminary examination in person,
Asked this before?
July 23rd, 2024, 9 a.m. before Judge Barr. Bound at this time will continue.
Discovery is ready to turn over to Mr. Bernstein if he could facilitate turning that discovery over to Mr. Jolly, because I will be agreeing to an adjournment on the date of the preliminary exam for any type of discovery issues.
I'll make sure of it, Your Honor.
All right, very good. Thank you.
Good luck, man.
Thanks.
They've got the next.
Done.
That's the case. People versus John St. Germain.
Kenneth Overwater, Assistant Public Defender on behalf of Mr. St. Germain.
Your name, sir?
John St. Germain.
Thank you.
Your Honor, it's a date and time set for a probable cause conference. We are still trying to get discovery on these matters. The video for one of the two cases was sent to my office yesterday. The other one we still do not have. As a result of this, we still cannot set we cannot set one of the cases for preliminary examination. The other one still has not been set for preliminary examination. In both cases, my client's been in custody for 28 days. So we're past the 21 days. for the preliminary examination. My client has directed me to move for a dismissal on the basis of that 21-day violation.
Okay, I'll tell you what, that's fine. Then I'll grant that, but I won't grant it until later. Well, I'll hear the motion later and allow the people to prepare paperwork so that we can just do all of it, swear it out and arraign him on that all today. And then all the time that he's been in, he would lose any credit. So that's what we'll do.
Is
That
that what
would
you
be
still
my,
wanna do?
that would be my remedy.
That doesn't sound good.
No, it doesn't, but that's what happens. That's how I work.
What can I do?
I've told you, we can adjourn to get the video and then set the cases for preliminary examination.
Sure. Okay.
Then thank you, Your Honor. I would withdraw that motion and I would ask that for a brief adjournment of the probable cause conference to get the remaining video.
Do you think you'd be able to have those in a week or did you need two? I appreciate.
Northfield Township Records Department reports that they sent the link yesterday. And so Mr. Runick is working on.
Getting that. Got it.
Mr. Overwater feels confident with a week. I'm happy to put it a week if you need 2 weeks.
I'm fine with a week if
All right.
Mr. Granacci thinks will happen.
Probable cause conference, July 18th, 2024, 9 a.m. Well, continue.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, can I address the court?
Sure.
I'm wondering about getting my bond reduced so that I can post it, because right now it's a little bit high for what I can afford.
Well, okay. Have you talked to your attorney about that?
Yeah, I mentioned it.
We did, Your Honor, and we made a bond motion at the last hearing.
I know.
So the only thing that's changed is the matter continues to be delayed on the issue of discovery while my client is still incarcerated as a result.
Right. And he violated the conditions that we released him on the last time.
I did, and it wasn't on purpose. And I meant no disrespect by it. That's not something that would happen again. As my situation has changed and I have transportation now to my court dates, I have a healthy spot to live in with,
And the court recalls, this was explained to the court a few weeks ago, but he does have stable residence with friends, one of whom is a licensed social worker and would look after him as well as ensure his appearance in court.
Had to issue a warrant on one. There was a bond violation. I'm not going to change the bond at this time. I mean, I'll see him next week and we'll see exactly where we are, but I'm not changing. Motion for bond reductions tonight.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.